A's Extra.
Welcome back to the Anglers Extra pregame show. Second Anglers Extra pregame show of the day, and it's almost time for Game 38 of the Cape League season. Second game of the day. Chatham has made the trip to Orleans to complete the doubleheader against the Orleans Firebirds at Eldredge Park. And it's time once again for the Manager Show with the Chatham acting manager, Jay Powell. I'm Jake Klein. Jay, 9-0 win in Game 1 there. What'd you think?
Well, I told Cookie I didn't know why he was saying so hard. You know, we just rolled out of bed and won 9-0. No, it was good. I think the guys kind of realized too what we had on the line. You know, we needed to win that game to clinch the playoffs, and came out swinging the bat really well. And we kept putting pressure on them. And to me, the turning point, and I felt like the game was Tyler Howell's bunt. You know, when he was able to lay the bunt down, it was such a great bunt, and not only move the runners but get a base hit out of it, and was able to kind of extend the lead, and at that point, kind of blow the game open.
To go on a little bit of a tangent here, we've seen so many players in the Cape League over the last couple of summers try to bunt and seemingly not know how to bunt. Yeah. What do you make of that?
Well, this group has, I think they realized after about a month up here, especially the guys that's here all year, is this a different game with that wood bat? It really is. You have to play the game a little bit different than you do in college, and you have to, the thing about bunting is, and I tell these guys all the time, with pitchers nowadays, they don't do a lot of PFP works like we did, and when you bunt, well, not only we're moving the runners over, but you're making the pitcher make a high leverage play. He's moving his feet, he's got to stop, he's got to throw. And honestly, 50% of the time they mess it up nowadays. So it's, not only are we moving the runners, but you're forcing those guys to make these high leverage plays. And sometimes it works out where not only you get them moved up, but you get them on base.
Armani Guzman told us after the game this morning that he felt like there was a real turning point in the season at the post-game meeting after your last loss before this win streak. What stands out to you about that moment?
Well, Dennis, I remember talking to him about, this, basically this is their responsibility in their season. And I kind of echoed the same thing during the meeting and said the same thing. And, this experience for them, we want them to kind of get a taste of what professional baseball's like. And it's like I told them at that point, I said, guys, this isn't on anybody, but it's your career, and you got to take responsibility for it. And all we ask is you keep working. And these guys have shown up for early work all year. They've put the work in from an offensive standpoint. So it's nice seeing them being rewarded for it, because they really have. They've worked their tail off. And it's just them kind of taking ownership of it. And as a coach, that's what you want them to do. And honestly, you can't be more proud of them.
Chatting with Jay Powell on the Manager Show before the A's and Firebirds square off. Jay, dating back to that game against Falmouth where you lost 2-1 and Bino Waters had the only 2 hits, there was a period of struggle there for the offense. I mean, it really seems, especially with the 9-0 game this morning, that they've broken out of that. What is the difference between this period of time and that period of time?
Confidence. I think 100% it's just confidence. I think they had some success after that, and they were able to kind of build on it. And they're having better at bats. They're having better at bats. They're not swinging at bad pitches. They're not pressing. And when you can do that as a hitter, a lot of times good things are going to happen. And I think that's kind of what's happened to this group. And look, we've got a lot of left-handed hitters, and they have faced a lot of left-handed pitching. So I think it took them a little bit too to get adjusted to that, because a lot of times with college nowadays, as soon as they bring a lefty in, they got a righty hitting, so they don't see a lot of that left on left in college.
So you've got Angel Cervantes on the mound tonight out of UCLA. Obviously, you've already locked up the playoff spot. Orleans is eliminated. Why, with only a couple days before the playoffs, pitch Angel Cervantes?
Well, I left it up to him, honestly. I said, you're going to start Tuesday. What would you rather do? He said, I'd rather get on the mound for at least a couple innings. So we kind of left it up to Angel. Angel is like a lot of UCLA guys, and I give Coach Savage credit for it. They are unbelievable in their preparation to pitch. And he knows exactly what he needs, and you trust guys like that, just like I do with Chatterton. I mean, I asked those guys, I told Angel, I said, we can skip you. And he said, no, I'd rather get on the mound. So we're going to pitch him, probably limit him to maybe 2 innings most. Then Chatterton will probably go 2 or 3. Noah Allen, who's going to be leaving tomorrow, he's got to report to Alabama, will go. And so that's what the beauty of us clinching it this morning was, allows us now to really focus on, all right, we got to get these guys ready to pitch next week. So, so we left it up to Angel, and he said, no, I'd rather pitch a couple innings.
Where on the priority list is catching Harwich in third place versus just making sure you're ready to go for the playoffs?
Obviously, we'd love to finish higher, but honestly, I don't think you look at YD, Brewster, and Harwich. I don't know who you would rather play and who not play. I mean, because YD's had an incredible year, but everybody's so different this time right now. So Brewster's got a great team, Harwich has got a good team, and honestly, I don't think it matters. If we could get into position to have home field advantage, then that makes a difference in that standpoint. But as far as just who you play with the teams in our division, I don't think it matters. You got 3 really good teams obviously ahead of us.
And there's Jay Powell on the Manager's Show. A's and Firebirds coming up. Jay, as always, thanks for your time.
Absolutely.